and drags you in. And I think that's a sign of how good the creative team was on The Force Unleashed. They have to take credit for that. But I think the fans have just been brilliant in kind of, embracing us into the Star Wars universe. And thank you very much. It's very nice to be here.
Well, I said it to David whenever I was speaking to him a few weeks ago, and I absolutely mean this. The Force Unleashed, to me, was a massive part of Star Wars. I loved the characters so much. I thought the game was fantastic. The story was fantastic. And absolutely, I think we will. We're going to start that petition to get the third game made, because I definitely would be front of the queue to pick it up.
Brilliant. Sign me up. Whatever I can do to help.
Well, listen,
do a march on Parliament or something.
Yes, bring back the Force Unleashed.
Yes, grab your lightsabers, guys. We're going in.
Easy now.
Sorry.
Listen, Nathalie, I know that you're really, really busy, but on behalf of everybody following the nerd, myself and Saxon, thank you very much for taking the time out to talk to us tonight, and it absolutely was a pleasure. And whenever your new game, whatever it may be, comes out, please get in touch with us, and we'd love to have you back.
Yeah, I'd love to come back, definitely. When I'm allowed to talk about it a little bit more, I absolutely will come back, and we can have another little chat.
Well, FIFA 14's out next week anyway, so I think...
I'll see you then.
Way!
I'd love to come back. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you very much for having me.
The pleasure is all ours, Nathalie. Thank you, and have a good night.
All right, take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Farewell.
Okay, right.
Nathalie Cox there.
Yes, how lovely was she?
Voice of a goddess.
Voice of a goddess. How lovely was she? Very, very nice indeed. And thank you very much for coming on the show. I thought we were getting a Star Wars exclusive there.
I know, but what can you do, eh?
Eh? Ah, well.
Can you do? Dream.
Yes.
Dream.
Yes.
And get that petition going.
You know what? I think we will. I think we will. Because Natalie's behind it. David's definitely behind it. I think it's time we got in contact.
Do you know, we missed a trick. We should have started this at Celebration Europe.
Yes.
We should have had our own stall. It should have been, we need part 3 in this game series. Sign our cause, sign up.
Yeah.
Please.
I know, we were sleeping on that one.
Missed a trick. Missed a genuine trick.
You are following the nerd. I'm Mark.
I'm a bit in love with Nathalie Cox.
Yes, what a lovely voice. What a lovely lady.
Indeed. I'm also Saxon.
And you can, if you're listening to the show live now, you can text us on 079 252 89820, or at any time now or any other time you can get us on Facebook at facebook.com/following the nerd. You can tweet us at nerdfollowing.
I'm Colin Baker and I am following the nerd, so you should follow it too.
Hello, I'm Sylvester McCoy, and I'm following the nerd.
This is Paul McGann, Doctor Who number 8, and I'm following the nerd.
Hello, this is John Leeson. But he doesn't sound like that. The voice of K9, and I am following the nerd.
This is the nerd you're looking for.
We're back, and we're still recovering from speaking to the very lovely Nathalie Cox.
In a lot of ways, we never left.
And she just messaged us there and said she'll be listening in next week. How cool is that?
Yay!
How cool is that?
Another listener, that's what we love to hear.
Yes. Okay, you can get us on 079 252 89820 if you want to text us. You can get us on Facebook at facebook.com/following the nerd, or you can tweet at nerdfollowing. Right, my wife phoned while we were listening to the 28-minute version of Bohemian Rhapsody.
20 and a half,
and she said that my little boy is still awake at this time of night, on a school night.
Terrible.
Shocking.
That's a crime.
Because, right, get this, he's afraid. We watched Jurassic Park at the weekend.
Right.
I was telling you this before the show started, that
yes,
we sat down and watched Jurassic Park with myself and my two kids, who are 7 and 3. 4. And I was a wee bit nervous about watching it with my wee girl, because it's scary, right? I mean, Jurassic Park...
It has its moments.
It has its moments. Every time I watch it, the bit where the goat's leg hits the top of the truck, I always go, I knew that was coming.
Do you know what it is for me? Do you know the scene where, like, Ellie restores the power, everything's absolutely grand, and then the raptor head comes through the pipes behind her?
And you jump.
That always gets me, because I forget it's going to happen.
But he's sitting in bed, and he's listening to the show right now, so we have to be best behaviour. Okay, even though we're post-watershed. And he's afraid of the bit where Dennis Nedry gets killed by the, what do you call it? Not
the Dilophosaurus.
Dilophosaurus, the spitting monster. So he's afraid of that.
The umbrella head, as I like to call it.
Yes.
Because it has those bits that come up, and it's like, shh.
Yeah, exactly. Which is scary. It's quite a scary bit. It's quite a scary bit.
It's designed to be scary. It's a movie.
But you know what? Here's the thing, okay? And whenever Michael Crichton wrote that, he decided that he had to make a dinosaur a little bit more exciting, a little bit more interesting. Dinosaurs didn't do that, as far as I know. They didn't spit. There was no spitting. And they thought that would be something kind of cool for the dinosaur to do. So, Caleb, that's all made up. Yeah. Go sleep.
And just as on top of that as well, in the middle of it's near Costa Rica, which is, if you're good at your geography, very, very far away from Northern Ireland.
Oh, I like that. If you're good at your geography, it's really far away.
If you're very good at your geography, your Jurassic geography, you'll know it's very, very far away from where we live.
It's not a stone's throw.
Yeah, they can't spit that far.
No, they can't. You know, like, here's the thing, right? I watched Jurassic Park with my kids. And Jurassic Park, we talked about this a few weeks ago. It was the first movie I ever went to see with my now wife, with my girlfriend at the time. And it's 20 years old. It's 20 years old. 20 years old, right? And I was never that big a fan of it. I liked it, but I thought it was very overrated. And I have to be honest with you, I think I enjoyed it last weekend. Watched it with my kids more than I ever have.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, it's a family film, isn't it?
You know what? It very much is a family movie because they were laughing in the right places. They were terrified. They were terrified. I mean, my wee girl, she was like covering herself up with the pillow, going, "I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to." And then she was peeping over, just like, "Oh, it's okay now." And he was pacing. He couldn't watch it. He was like, "Oh my god, people are going to die."
Well, do you know what really helps me whenever I watch a movie or a TV series and I go, "Oh, that's so scary. I'm going to have nightmares about this now." I actually find out how they did it.
Yes.
So, like, if I'm watching a zombie movie or something horrible happens, like, I go, well, how did they make that happen? So it's interesting to find out, how did they make the dinosaur puppet spit? How did they make the dinosaur puppet have its umbrella bits go up and shake? So that's actually kind of what almost got me into making movies.
Yes.
Like learning the tricks behind it, because of course the dinosaurs in that movie obviously they're built by people.
Yes.
Like tons of people, really talented people in warehouses somewhere. Like they go off and they measure like what a dinosaur's tooth was like, and they build the dinosaur's mouth and jaw, and they build it all. So like whenever I saw that and I saw the making of it, it really got me into making movies and learning the little tips and tricks behind it. So that's something to think about. Think about that. It's good that you got scared because somebody was talented enough to make that seem real.
Yeah.
So there's something to think about.
You know what? It holds up very well. For a movie that's 20 years old, it really, really holds up. It's as good as anything being made today.
Yeah. Well,
it looks amazing.
To be honest with you, with the CGI, it doesn't really age at all, does it? Because whenever Spielberg kind of said, "No, I don't want to do stop motion anymore. Make CGI, I command thee, as the Grand Master Spielberg." Yes. Yeah. And lo and behold, there was CGI. People will tell tales of this in years to come. And we are. But
and here we are, 20 years later.
Yes. But whenever he did that, he went so far overboard that the T-Rex has such minuscule detail on its skin, the CGI version, that only now we can fully appreciate that because we have the technology to view that
in
with
HD. I watched it in HD, and it looks beautiful.
It's gorgeous.
It looks beautiful.
And also the sound.
Yes.
Very underrated. But if you listen to that score and if you listen to that actual sound effects in the movie, gorgeous.
Funny, Andy from the Money Movie Show, whenever I put on Facebook that I was watching it with my kids and we're kind of having a running commentary as well, and his message was, "I hope you have a really good sound system and crank it up full for this movie." But here's the thing, right? Because I hadn't a great appreciation for it before. When I was watching it last weekend, I noticed things not that I hadn't noticed before, but I could sort of love them. Do you know the scene where the T-Rex attacks first, and the kids, the wee guy, he's caught in the car, and Alexis, I think it is the girl, she's out. She's outside with Sam Neill, with John, or what do you call him? Anyway, Sam Neill's character.
I should know this.
So should I. But and she screams, and he covers her mouth.
Yes.
And he's like, "Don't move." It's visions based on. And they're there. It's raining. The car's upside down. They're in mud. And the next thing is just the big foot just goes, and it just sits there, and it's just so beautifully framed.
Yeah.
It's so amazingly framed. And then, you have the bit you're talking about later on with the Velociraptor busts through the pipes.
Yes.
Because you have the kids are climbing the fence, the electric fence. She's gone to turn the power on, which is why she's there.
Yeah.
She's flicking the switches.
Yeah.
Then the electric's on, she turns around, boom, Velociraptor. She goes, she runs away from the Velociraptor, then boom, Samuel L. Jackson's arm is on her back.
Yeah.
Then she's like, and the next thing she turns around, and boom, the Velociraptor's trying to get through the gate at her.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to them out in the park, and boom, the electricity comes on, and the wee fella gets blown across. And it's just in 30 seconds, it's bang, bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang, and you're like, just afterwards, you're like,
No,
oh, what?
I love the tension as well, because you have the I forget the name of the term, and I should know this because I studied it, but essentially I think it's parallel editing, in a sense that while you're seeing her flipping on the switch,
Yes,
you see him going, I'm gonna jump.
Yeah.
3 cuts back to her flipping the switch. 2 cuts back to her flipping the switch, getting closer and closer and closer, and just the tension is insane. You could cut it with a knife.
Yeah, and then Hammond goes, you don't just flick it, you have to pump it, and you're like, no, what? No, wait, they're still on the fence. And she's like pumping this thing, and it's just relentless. It's I know it's only 30 seconds, and you think it's only 30 seconds, but it is 30 seconds, and there's 5 good, powerful bang in that. And you know what? Only Spielberg could do that.
But do you think that is the last we will ever see of classic Spielberg?
You know what? I think it might be.
Do you think that's it?
But here's the thing, right? I think J.J. Abrams has the ability to be the new Spielberg. I think Super 8 is the best Spielberg movie Spielberg didn't make.
Well, absolutely right.
And it's a great movie, and it's so. And I know it's a love letter to Spielberg. It's very much an homage.
It's the Goonies,
to the
basically.
Goonies and to E.T. and to Close Encounters.
It's like almost cherry picking the best of Spielberg, and out of that came Super 8.
Yeah. But yeah, I gotta say, I really can't, just tell people enough, watch Jurassic Park and watch it with a couple of young kids.
Yep.
And it will scare them, and it's meant to scare them, and that's good. I don't think there's anything wrong with a good scare.
No,
there's nothing
right.
wrong with a good scare.
And also an interesting little tidbit, a little bit of trivia, because we love that here on FTN, don't we?
Yes, we do.
The roof of the Land Cruiser was not supposed to break.
Somebody put that on Facebook. Is this true? So the kids genuinely at that scene were really scared because the glass was breaking?
Yeah, so that scene where the T-Rex actually burst through, they weren't told that was going to happen. So it's just the genuine terror of this beast, because obviously it's a giant animatronic puppet.
Yeah, and it's still scary as heck looking.
And it's all completely fake. But just when you're in that car and just there's a massive T-Rex head full of razor sharp teeth coming at you, and you think, oh, it's okay because there's there's not glass anymore.
Yeah, class. Another great scene in it as well is when they get back to the command center.
Yeah.
And Sam Neill's closing the door. And he's like, hey, try and get the doors locked.
Alan Grant.
I should have known that because of Alan Grant, the writer. He turns around, the camera goes with him, he looks at Ellie, he goes, see if we can lock the doors, and he comes back, and the raptor's at the window.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the? It's just so good. It's so good. It's like you weren't there a second ago.
Has Spielberg done a horror movie?
An out-and-out horror movie? No.
He needs to do one.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yes, because he would scare the pants off.
Because he understands suspense.
Yes.
And that's something we really need in a decent horror movie these days. So I really think Spielberg should seriously consider moving away from the family movies and actually do a proper 18 horror movie.
Yeah.
Because, it'd freak you out.
Yeah. No, I could definitely see that. And he's the master of... kind of like Joss Whedon, actually, as well, where he has that sort of, where he has you basically crying because you're so scared, and then the next thing you're laughing because he just breaks the tension like that, and it's done and it's dusted.
I'm talking about the tension in that kitchen scene.
Yeah.
Oh, it would, like, seriously, if you have heart problems, don't watch this movie, because seriously.
Yeah. It's so good, though.
The bit as well where Lex climbs into the little cabinet and she's making out as though the door's stuck and the raptor's just coming at her, and then it turns out it's a reflection. You know what I mean? That sums it up right there.
Yeah, it's class, yeah. No, it's just so good. I have to say, I actually kind of 20 years later, and I did finally fall in love with Jurassic Park at the weekend. I get it.
All through the power and the magic of children.
Of children. But it's like the bit at the end of Scrooge. He's like, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get it now. And I do. I get it now. I really, really do get it now.
Okay, well, before you start singing... Put a little love in your heart.
Right, okay.
It's too early. It's not December yet.
That's our December 1st song.
Yes.
Okay, that's our December 1st song. Okay, Andy has sent us a message here. This is for Nathalie Cox, actually. He says there's an extended director's cut of Kingdom of Heaven, and he thinks her scenes have all been reinstated in that. It runs 3 hours and 10 minutes, and it's a fantastic version of the movie over the terrible theatrical edited version. So, Nathalie, if you're listening, Andy from the Monday Movie Show, he reckons that your scenes are all back in the extended director's cut.
And it's better off as a result.
And it's better off. Yes, because
add more Nathalie. Add more Nathalie, and you will get a better movie.
Andy says whenever the car is upside down in that scene in Jurassic Park, the entire car is CGI.
Is it?
I don't know how they did that, but
because
okay.
The actual what you mean where the
I think he means when they're outside the car.
Yeah, I think because the T-Rex has one of the tires in its mouth.
Aye.
I think is that CGI?
Don't know.
Because
I'm sure